can do. Ah, we're good. So here we are for the Q&A. I'm so excited to be with you all this evening. And let's start as we generally do because I think it works really well. Let's just take a moment. I just got done with a massage. And close our eyes and imagine we all just got done with a massage. And just inhale how good life is and exhale any stress or anxiety or any need to know the right answer. And if you feel any tension anywhere in your body, just let that go. If you can put your feet on the ground and connect with the earth, that's awesome. If you can imagine success pouring into your head, down your cheeks, through your throat, in your shoulders, your elbows, your belly button, your fingertips, your thighs, your calves, your toes, and down into the earth, that's fabulous also. So, excellent. Welcome everyone. I'm so excited to be with you tonight for this bonus call, and this is yours. I cannot wait to hear the questions that you have. Now, one thing I will ask from folks is my screen is shaking a little bit. Let me fix that for you. Great. So I do want us to stay really focused on what your goal is. And so sometimes I know that sometimes the questions come up that won't necessarily actually get you to your goal. So what I have asked in the last class and also in the email that I sent out, if you can have your 90-day sales goal for me, and also if you can let me know where you are in terms of that goal before we start your question, that would be great. But you are welcome to go right ahead on the chat portion if you are on Ustream and ask your questions there, or if you are on the phone, you can press *6 and give me a question there. And if no one speaks up shortly, I will go ahead and take one of the questions that was emailed in to me. So I'm going to give you all a couple of seconds while I drink some lovely coconut juice with pulp. Amy and Brian. If they'd sponsor this class, that'd be great. I love coconut juice. Okay, so we don't have any questions thus far, so I'm going to go ahead and do one of the questions that had previously come in. We had someone who wanted to know about Twitter. They said, I actually don't know very much about Twitter at all. Can you give me some explanation about how specifically to handle Twitter? So I'm going to do that. So here are the key things to know about Twitter, especially in terms of reaching your goal. First off, your tweets are limited to 140 characters. I'll type that into the chat just so you all are able to see. And a couple of key things to contemplate when you're writing tweets is that you want to keep them probably around 120 to 130 characters, because the really wonderful thing about Twitter is you can ask people to retweet, or they can retweet. And I'll put that there. Capital R, capital T is what you'll often see it referred to as. If you check me on Twitter today, I'll enter my link, which is Lindsay Wilson, all one word. You will see that there are a number of retweets there. I have someone who I'm helping hopefully win $50,000 from the Chamber of Commerce. And it's just a wonderful social media experiment to see if we can get that done. So you'll see a number of retweets, and even more important, what you will see at the end of a lot of my tweets is I've written, please RT, which lets everyone who's following me or seeing the tweet know that I would appreciate some support and could they retweet it. So I do not put please RT at the end of everything. It's a wonderful, socially gracious thing to do when you actually need it, if you're launching a class or a product. And I would say all of you, because you probably have not used please RT at the end of a lot of your tweets, go for it. Put that out there. You'll want to put it, let's see, how can we say this? With Twitter, there are a couple of different ways to do it. What I would suggest and specifically knowing the person that the question came from, I would say what you want to do is, because it's concise, you want to think of like Nike's Just Do It campaign. You want something that is very, very tight in terms of wording. On Twitter, you want to think about people being very fast-paced with very low attention spans. The best analogy I've ever heard is that Twitter's like a cocktail party. And at first, it's hard to get traction because it's hard to get involved with other people. Again, I would suggest if you interact with me on Twitter, I'm always going to interact back though. So it's a wonderful way for you to just jump in the deep end and get a lot of eyes and interaction on things. So if you are writing a tweet, for instance, if I were writing a tweet about this class, I would start it off with a bang. I could even do something like Just Do It, which sounds a little crazy, but post-massage, that makes a little bit of sense to me. That's going to grab someone's attention. And then next I would add the link on the website where they could find out information about this class. What you want to do when you add a link, because there is not a lot of space on Twitter, is use a website that shortens it. Something that I use is Bitly. It's bit.ly. If you go there, you can enter a long website link and it will make it very short. I would suggest you sign in for an account, because then you can track and you can see exactly how many people have used that link. And I don't normally use their links that they come up with. You certainly can. However, what you really want to think about your social media space as is it very, very, very much is like real estate space on a billboard, if you'll pardon the analogy. So rather than having a Bitly link that says like bit.ly/cgxlkmq, what I'll do is I'll name, and that's where it says customize on Bitly, I'll name my link. So I would do something like awesome class, except that's just way too many letters. You want to think really concisely. So maybe I'd do sales class, all one word, or you can even, you could certainly put click here. A number of those names, though, certainly will have been used already, things like that. So you want to think about something that's a little eye-catching, that's sort of advanced. You can certainly use the basic Bitly link. So far we've got a tweet that says Just Do It. It has my Bitly link. It says sales class. And then after that I would put some more text that says something passionate, something heartfelt, and something that other people are going to respond to, particularly if you're trying to get it out there and get people to retweet it. For instance, today if you go to my Twitter page, you'll see that I'm asking that other people help Tracy Foster get her dream of winning this $50,000 to launch her class. So when I say it in that way, it's a lot more effective than if I just say, please vote for this. Like, no one has anything to attach to there unless they just really like me. And I will tell you again, Twitter's very fast-paced. You don't need to be afraid of it. That's what's really key here. You can't, and I know that our theme last week, the first piece of homework was to take imperfect action. So if you're afraid of Twitter, your assignment tonight, I know this is a bonus class, is get on there and just start going. Don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be great. People, so many tweets come up so quickly, they're never even going to remember a bad one. So if I throw Just Do It, and I throw the ad link up, and then I say something like, my first class, I need support. Now, I wouldn't necessarily put that, but I would say that folks at the beginning of their business, that's brilliant, because people are going to jump on that bandwagon like crazy. If you're more advanced in your business, I would probably say something like, I'm giving away my sales secrets. Something like that that is enticing and gets people to click on the link. Because There are so many tweets out there that you could really look at anything. So you really want people, particularly when you're trying to get business done, on a basic tweet, include a link, let them see what you're doing, and then at the end you can always put the please RT for please retweet. So that's a basic, like, how do I start talking about my stuff on Twitter? Here are a couple other pieces of information, and I could go on about this for the entire hour, so I'm just going to say, for anyone who's joined us, if you have a question, this is your evening, so please feel free to write it in the chat space on Ustream, or even if you want to press *6 right now on the phone and let me know you've got a question, then I'll be able to keep up with where we are in terms of things. Okay, so I'm going to keep going on Twitter. So, like any good cocktail party, you don't just go in and say, buy this from me. You also want to socialize with people. And here are wonderful ways to do that. When you see people's tweets that are interesting, that strike you, that are meaningful to you or your business, those are your people. They are probably connected to your target market. And what you want to do is, if you go over to the end of the tweet, actually the easier way to do it is, so you'll see someone's name. So for instance, it says Lindsay Wilson is my tweet, and then it tells you everything. What you're going to do is click on my name, and it will take you to my page, and you can see my tweets there. You'll find the tweet that you liked. Right below it on the right, you can click retweet. It will ask you to confirm that you're retweeting. Click yes, and then you've retweeted me. There is a very easy way for everyone constantly to see who has retweeted them, and that is flattery is the best form of whatever. So if you're retweeting me, I love you. I'm going to start following you. I'm going to start paying attention to you, and when you say please RT, out of etiquette, I'm going to retweet you also. So a couple other quick tips on Twitter. You don't always want to be selling your stuff, obviously, but I'm seeing that the biggest block that all of us have here in the class is that we're not selling ourselves enough. So I start with that. Once you've started doing that comfortably, and once you've started retweeting people, the next thing that you want to think about in writing your own tweets are writing tweets that are retweet worthy, that people don't have to be asked to do. For instance, I have a client who makes handbags, and a portion of all the proceeds go to support childhood leukemia research. Childhood leukemia is the #1 killer among children in the United States right now. If you write that as a tweet, it will get retweeted because that's powerful information that people will want to pass on. Retweeting, you'll see a lot of people who will put quotes up from famous folks. That's fine. I don't necessarily suggest it for business unless you want to quote Abraham Lincoln and you're hoping to like form an affiliate program with Abe. I would suggest that you really focus it on information that is going to be helpful to your target market. You all have come up with who your avatar is. So if your avatar needs to know about safety for babies, then you want to put up quotes about, did you know that children choke every 3 seconds on frozen peas, or information they might not know that is providing a service. Because in the same way as with Facebook, it's very much that water cooler at work example. You want to be the place where is the hub of information. Okay, I'm going to ask again if anybody has questions, and I'm going to go on more about Twitter. You can ask me anything, and I would suggest it strongly. Oh, good. There's, yay, Julia's saying yay. So here's some more about Twitter. She just retweeted something I tweeted. That's a brilliant way to get going. So here's the other key thing to know. You also can speak directly with people, and the way to do that is very much like how we learned how to tag people on Facebook. You put the @ sign before whatever their username is. So I'm at Lindsay Wilson. You put that at the very beginning of the tweet. I know then that that's a heading like on a letter, and you've written directly to me. So you're not writing to the whole world, you're communicating directly with me. And so, great, more questions. And so perhaps Julia, just about what she said, if she were going to converse with me via Twitter, she might put at Lindsay Wilson. I just retweeted something you tweeted. And then she writes after it, big progress. And that's great. That's always, I mean, that's huge, because then here's the thing. If she just sends me, Lindsay Wilson, I just retweeted something you tweeted. Okay, I know she's in this class. I know that that's great. It's something from the class. But if she says big progress, that gives me something to emotionally connect with and be behind and say, woohoo, that's awesome. So, my assistant is walking in with a handwritten note. But that's an important thing to know. And then the other piece I would say about Twitter, which we've covered a little bit before, is, oh, that's excellent. I love it. So, I'm hiring more staff, and they're very smart. So here's a key piece that I will tell you as well, thank you, is that everyone in the world can see when you tweet and you put my name at the front, which is like being at a cocktail party. And if Julia wanted to be cool, if it were, you know, a cocktail party where people thought I was groovy, she might say something to me like, oh my gosh, I love your hair, or something like that. However, if my skirt is stuck in my pantyhose coming out of the bathroom, that may not be something she wants to say across the room. So the other thing to think about is there's something called direct messaging, which is a DM. And in the same way that you clicked my name before, you would click my name again, and it gives you the option to DM me. That's a private message just between us, and that's a very important key thing to know, because some things you don't want just out there everywhere. I would say, for me, busy people are very not looking at all their direct messages on Twitter, because a lot of people automate when you follow someone and just get hundreds a day that are junk. So I know for me, if you want to be talking to me, you want to email me, or you want to email me on Facebook. So the last piece of Twitter, just because I really want to cover this, is hashtags. People will also, you can trend what's happening, or you can see a conversation that's happening based on a hashtag. It's simply the number sign, and it's before anything. So today I was talking about women, and so I could have put that and put women. Then anyone who searched for any conversations about women could have easily found me. The other day when I was desperate for wedding people on Twitter, which none have gotten a hold of me on my own, I'm blown away, I put hashtag wedding for this class because I think it's fun. I have made hashtag MSVSM, which stands for Massive Sales Via Social Media. And if you go and enter in your search box on the right hand side MSVSM, you'll see everyone who's tagged anything about this class there. So I think that that's probably really helpful information too. So it feels like a lot. I get it about Twitter. You do want to be tweeting a number of times a day, and I can provide more information about it, but I thought that's the question I got emailed this week. I'd go for it and answer it. So here are some next questions, and then I will come back to Twitter questions if we have time. Shauna, who is starting her new Tele Summit this week. Shauna, put the link up for that, please. You can go, you can join. It's free. You get a lot of phenomenal information. I happen to be one of the guests on it. But there are a lot of people that I'm excited to listen to also. So Shauna wants to know, she's doing her homework, how do we do a live Ustream show? Do we just click broadcast and start? I love this question, Shauna. I love it. So Shauna, what you're going to do is once you click broadcast show, another screen will come up. It will show your face on it. You will have two little boxes to the right. One says start broadcast. One says start recording. They're both green. You need to click both of them. They'll turn red, and then you actually are recording and you actually are streaming live. And that's it. You're good to go. And I would recommend you try a test one first. I think that that's really important, just so you can get comfortable with the technology, and you can go right back in a couple minutes later and click on My Videos on the Ustream dashboard. Those are just the words that appear there. Click dashboard on Ustream, click My Videos on Ustream. I will remind you that I sound really techie. I am not techie at all. It's literal what I'm telling you. And then it will come up and it gives you an option as you scroll down the screen where it says delete video, and you just delete your test. So Shauna says, so you don't have to do an event. You mean an event on Ustream? There's a way to do that. That's a little bit more advanced. You can schedule your show on Ustream. No, you totally don't have to do that. Not at all. If you do, then people who are following you on Ustream would be able to know that you'd scheduled a show, but it takes a long time to get traction, I found, to get followers on Ustream. I mean, I don't even know how many of you are following me on Ustream. It's not something that, it's not the same as like friending someone on Facebook. Excellent. Great. So, Anne, we have a question. Anne from Ecologic Green Products, manufacture eco-friendly packaging products on a business-to-business basis for the beauty industry. How can I utilize social media to reach this market? Phenomenal. So, Anne, will you tell me what your goal is for the 90 days? If you'll type that in. And I realize I didn't ask the two people prior. They got away from me on that. So Anne, if you can type that in, that's awesome, because then I can even help you a little bit more. And I would say also if you can type in who your target market is, because I can give you general answers, but I really, if it were me and I were in this class, I'd use this time to get like as private of most specific kind of coaching you can. So what I'm even going to do while we let Anne type that in is take another swig of coconut juice. And then I've got a special surprise for you all. Okay, let's see. I think my phone is starting to die as well. So I'll plug that baby in. Okay, and while we wait for you to get that information, here's the surprise I've got for you guys. So, I don't even know how to frame it. I'm just going to tell you the truth. I would love if you all would do the following. And in return, what I will do is give whoever does this, and there's no limit to the amount of them that will do it, I'll give you a 30-minute free coaching session, which is worth like at least $50 and probably really insanely helpful to you being in this class. So here's what I want from you in exchange for the free 30-minute coaching session. Testimonials. And this is also a way for you all to specifically understand how powerful they are, because you definitively want to start asking for them from your target market. So I'm even going to like amp this up a little bit. I'm going to request you do it via video, which I know if you're scared to do Ustream, this is a great way to break right through it, because and you could even record your video on Ustream. That's the testimonial for me, and then it just has a little code for what it is, and that's fine. You can get done with this class. You're already on Ustream. I could walk you right through it. You record it, and here are the key things to know about testimonials, and these are crucial for all of you to know, to ask for from people. And if you've never sold a single product, I don't care. Start talking to people who've talked to you about your product, who are familiar with it. Give it to them, whatever you need to do. But it is extremely important that you all have other people talking about how great you are, because otherwise it's just really hard for folks to believe. So here are tips in terms of doing video testimonials. First of all, what I do is I say to you, promote yourself. Isn't that a win-win thing? During the very beginning of the video, I want you to say what your website is. It's key, especially if they click off just after hearing your website. You've gotten all of the goodness from the testimonial. Second of all, it needs to not be over 2.5 minutes. No one's watching after that long, typically. Third, I want you to talk about results. So, for instance, I saw Pamela in our forum today, did the Think Up exercise, went into Georgia in New York City, a little boutique that is awesome. Talked about her pillow. The woman is going to start selling her pillow there. It happened like that. So Pamela can easily do a video testimonial for me that says, based on one exercise that Lindsay had me do, I got my product placed in a store. Took 5 minutes. Brilliant. That's brilliant for a testimonial. The other thing that you always want to ask people for is who would they recommend you to? So I'll put me so I'm not totally confusing. So it would be great also if you go in there, I would recommend Lindsay's class to anyone who is not getting results via social media. I would recommend Lindsay's class to all my friends. I would recommend to whatever. These are key phrases that are actually going to generate a lot of results for you in terms of testimonials. And then the last thing that I would say, because I get that this is not fun for some of you. I love it. Tara says, I'm relentless regarding people's comfort zones. And that's true, because if you don't get, I'll tell you what, if you're comfortable and you're not making massive sales, the news is we need to get you out of your comfort zone. So here's the key thing about video. You need to be comfortable. It needs to not be like, it is out these days, if this has not been made clear, to be uber professional and distant and cold. It doesn't work. Look at the Mac ads, look at the Apple ads, look at what they're doing. You don't feel like that's some big shiny 1980s skyscraper, you know, that's just not what's in. We see people being transparent, we see people being emotional. I was just listening to information about how, and this is true, live events generate big results. People buy at live events a lot, and so I'll put that on our list of other things for you all to contemplate doing, which will really make you uncomfortable if video makes you uncomfortable. But the easiest way in video testimonials to make this simple and easy is this. Talk to your dog. Talk to your target market. Whoever that avatar is that you need to help, you need to really develop a strong relationship with them. So imagine them as the camera. It is not like your second grade school teacher who criticized you about like your grammar. It is not your mother talking to you about table etiquette. The key thing in doing video, and this is also the same with Ustream, is that I need to imagine my target market there and I need to be connecting with them, because I'm not meant for anyone else. There are 5 million people who would not like this class, and that is fine. They are not the people I'm meant to serve. Oh, and I have a brilliant think up exercise about something I did, but I'll tell you a bit later. So, yay, there we go. Video testimonials, if you get them into me before the end of the class, I would say now would be a great time, because here's the thing, and I am gonna keep repeating it until somebody tells me to stop. You all should be posting on my Facebook pages every day something, because I'm going to interact with you. My 5,000 friends, my fans, my group members, all of that are going to see that you're there. You're going to get social proof of being cool, and it's extraordinarily important, because imagine, it's like if you're starting a business. So you're starting your business on Facebook, and you've only got this little minuscule group of people over here. Why are you going to stay with the little minuscule group when being with a large group of people can so totally blow the roof off? Why are you keeping yourself from people who need you? It's actually a good question. I know that Q&A is supposed to be you all asking questions, but that might be one you want to answer. So you all need to be talking to me on Twitter, talking to me on Facebook. I'm on there 60 hours a week, and all I want for you is success. You better freaking believe I'm going to help you if you're on there and talking to me. It's crucial. And what I'm doing with the video testimonials that you give me is putting them on my page, talking about you, talking about how great your business is, and giving you airtime. So it's a massive win-win, and I will just say to you that if you haven't done the exercise where you think about 3 people who can help you, if you haven't started approaching them, if you haven't scheduled a Ustream show, if you're thinking, I'm never doing this video testimonial, I just want you to be honest with yourself about what's preventing it. Generally, the answer is going to be fear of some kind. And those are things that we need to jump through. We're getting ready tomorrow for our 4th class. Class is halfway over. Gives you plenty of time to jump through that hoop. It absolutely is a long warm-up phase for that, but I would say get honest with yourself about that. So, more questions. Let's go back to Anne. Awesome, thank you. So your goal is 10 to 15,000 a month. Target market are organic and natural skincare companies. How do you promote yourself via social media? Absolutely freaking brilliant question, and so easy and so important. So Anne, I'm just going to ask you a couple of more questions to see where you are in terms of what you've done, so I'm fitting exactly what you need. Number 1, how many organic and natural skincare companies have you connected with via Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter? Because that's the first step. And you can Google for lists of people who are those companies and then find out where they are on Facebook, because you know, everyone who has an organic skincare company may not be your target market. They may not have enough money for that. But in Google, on 5 minutes, I can find out who are the people who make the most money in organic and natural skincare. So you want to be connected with them. Next step, you want to be interactive. Oh, none is the answer. I'm not going to slide below the line and go, why? But that's key. That's key. And you want to be talking to them every day. This is the wonderful thing. Don't you want to work with wonderful companies who have amazing products? Absolutely. Get on their page. Tell them how wonderful their lavender oil, spray mist, salt scrub, you know, like whatever it is they have. Tell them how much you love it. Once you've bonded, which is the first step constantly in sales, the next thing to do is perhaps ask questions. Because you have packaging that of course they're going to want. So you might ask things like, who does your packaging? Now it's a little bit ballsy, but I think it's a little bit cool. If you can already research who does their packaging, you're a little bit ahead of the game, which I think is great. The next thing I would say is figure out who your competitors are. Watch their Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Ustream, YouTube, RSS, anything they do like a hawk. See what they're doing, see what they're up to, be current and be in the know. I'm just going to throw out a couple other ideas also. If it's a huge company, they may not want to tell you who their packaging is on their page. So instead, send them a direct message, send them an email on Facebook and ask, who's their buyer? Say, but you don't send an email that says, who's your buyer? You say, I love your products and I manufacture eco-friendly containers and packaging for products. Would it be possible for me to get your opinion on my packaging? Who could I send that to? No one is going to say no to you about that. I can name like 5 people right off the top of my head who need your products. So I'm really going to try to answer your questions exactly where you are tonight. So Anne, feel free to come back with a follow-up question, but since you've not connected with any of those folks, that is definitively the very first thing you want to do. Because if this were not a social media age, you would have to be like making phone calls, sending letters, having it be much more difficult. If you can find out who the buyer is for your favorite natural skincare company and connect with them on their personal account on Facebook and become their friend, when you get to the point where you say, you know, I do packaging for eco-friendly companies, could you give me your thoughts on my packaging? Like, doesn't that appeal to you? If somebody, I will tell you, people come to me and they're like, can you give me some advice on social media? And I know what I'm doing, and it also appeals to my ego in a weird way. And I really want to share the information that I have. I'll end up in an hour conversation with someone, and I know that I have no business doing that. I need to be doing work, or I need to be billing people. And it happens to work out that way. And I'll help those people forever. So there's a key thing, and feel free to follow up with another question, Ann, but that is the place to start. And then the thing is this, that once you have specifics for me and you can let me know specifics, I can specifically let you know how to move forward. So I could give you all the general global information in the world, but if you don't go find out who those people are and start to get connected with them, all that information is pointless. You could be playing golf tonight or hanging out with someone else. Great. Okay. Anne says we connect with our customers via newsletters and by calling the customer on the phone. That's awesome. We're not talking about your customers here. We're talking about people who are not yet your customers, and you want to be targeting them so you can get greater business. And or are you close enough to that goal that you just want to generate more money from them? Let me know if that's the case. I'm going to move on to the next one, but let me know if that's the case, because there's a different way to deal with people who are your current customers to get them to up level. Okay, so next question. I see Tara saying, do you want us to make a video testimonial during this class or just sometime tonight? You can do it anytime during the 8 weeks. I'm not going to pressure you like crazy. But you could do it right after we get off this call because you're already on Ustream. Julia asks an ethics question. Can you ask friends of friends or fans of friends to become friends or fans? Of course you can. Absolutely. I will sometimes, for friends or a project I really believe in, suggest that all of my friends go become a fan of their page. So is it like poaching? I understand what you're saying, but no, honestly, because I mean the deal is, like, I am in love with this other woman who's in social media. I just adore her, and I adore her because from the minute that I've met her, she loved me and never perceived me as competition, and that's very different than the way that other people have handled me. So my heart could not be more open to her. Anytime she posts anything on her page, I'm like, you're amazing. I like invited her to my wedding blessing on Facebook on my page. Now, people are going to like her and see her on there and go friend her on their own. I get that, and that's fine. There is plenty for all of us. Absolutely. I mean, I would say in your gut, you're going to know what's right or what's wrong, and this is a really tricky thing. I mean, like, if it's your ex-sister-in-law who has the same company as you and you all are not speaking, I would say it's a little bit poaching to go get friends or fans from her page. But social media is totally transparent. It's like, you know, TV has ads for other shows in the middle of the TV shows. They expect people to go watch those other TV shows. No, my sense is that you're probably just getting into the fear thing, and if it's the fear thing, I don't even want to hear about it. Absolutely. How to find new followers on Facebook? So, do you mean new people to like your fan page or your like page? Just clarify that for me, because I don't want to answer the wrong question. Next question. Tara from Baby Med Basics. Okay, first off, I'm gonna I'm just going to do this because I am. Tara, I love you, and I love that you're doing products that are helping people when they have babies. And I happened to go to your page today, and there's a little teeny bit.ly link, and I absolutely know that Facebook has changed it lately so that when you use bit.ly, it's not showing up with the picture of the link or anything else, but it could not be, you know, it was this big, bit.ly. That was the entire post on your page. So I'm going to help you here. You have the freaking coolest iPhone app contained in that bit.ly to save babies' lives, and you must start talking about it in your post. You've got to put, this is an iPhone app that you should give to your babysitter, or do you know how to save your baby's life, or I have chills. Like, that is something that is so crucial to promote via social media. Put it on our forum in our Ning site and say, I would love it if everyone would post this, because here's the deal. If you are gracious, if you are out there and posting things for other people, it only makes people that are going to be drawn to that kindness more responsive to you. It's, you know, I talk about it being like your billboard real estate space, but I'm not talking about myself every day on social media. I also am talking about other things that really are meaningful to me. And so, I mean, it could be as simple as, I'm trying to make it really concrete, but it's like, so if I post on my page about your iPhone thing, First of all, I want to have kids, so it's going to draw in a lot of comments from people who already have kids, and that may really solve my life. I mean, I could have a whole community of people who are new mothers or wanting to be new mothers, and I would love that if those people would show their face on my Facebook page. I'd love to chat with them. The other thing, though, is if I put that up there for you, and I'm just like really bringing it back to what's it like when other people are helping you. First of all, you're going to help me in return. If at some point I say to you, could you post something about my whatever it is on your wall? You're going to be like, of course, I got like 20 people who bought my iPhone app from your post on my page. So it's like kindness and cooperation really is key. It really is the easiest, best way to make social media work. If you are out there on a raft on your own, it is going to be hard. So I would say, yeah, I've already... Tara, get that up. People are saying, I'll post it for sure. It's amazing. So anyway, here's your question, which none of that was. Should I friend people I don't know on my personal page while waiting to create a Med Basics Facebook page? Keep it separate. Friend them, 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 friend them. It is so much more difficult to get people to like your page. There's a new way to put on your personal website page a way for people to like you on Facebook, which is fabulous, and I can send that information to you all if you post on the form that you want it from me. But as a fan or a like page, it's like having no arms. You can't reach out to anyone. The only thing you can do, which actually I would suggest you all do, I love this class, this is a content-rich Q&A. You all should ask each other to ask all of each other's friends to like your page. So for instance, I could say to you all, okay, if you'll go click on my Lindsay Wilson public figure page and then click on the left hand side where it says suggest to friends, and you click on suggest to friends, and then use that lovely code that I put in week 3 assignments in the Ning forum last week, that you just have to drop into your browser bar, and it invites all of your friends, whether it's 1 or whether it's 5,000. It takes 5 seconds. Then what will happen is you will have invited all of your friends to my page. I am more than happy if you do that to return the favor for you. That's no problem. So I would suggest that you all start doing that for one another, because you can go from like 20 people who like your page to, 200 overnight to 1,000 in a week. I mean, please know that the real power of good-hearted people together being on social media is that the numbers are exponential. They are just, there's nothing you can't do. So, let's see. More questions. Is there anyone on the phone? I just want to make sure. Please press *6. You can certainly chime right in if you've got a question. And great. So Anne, you're going to think about my answer and get back to me. I love that. Think about my question. Awesome. Julia, how did I find your starter page of friends to begin with? How did I search for them? Ah, that's an excellent question. Julia bought my social media angel, where I build your target market. This is a really good question, Julia. Okay, so how do I find your target market? Right on, now we're getting down to it. Okay, here we go. So let's see if I can send a link to you to find. You've got to be kidding. I think everyone in this class, this may be the most valuable piece of information I give away. You're asking for my secrets of how I do stuff. So let's see, who else has questions? Yeah. Who doesn't want to know my secrets? Who doesn't want to know how I do my $1,000 product? Just, let me know and I'll move on to something else. So let's see. I just want to make sure I don't take up too much time with this. Okay, so here are a couple of key things to know. First of all, I have enough clients that I really know target market, and I know specifically where those target markets are located, and I've got them in lists. So if you need women entrepreneurs that are 35 to 45, make a certain dollar amount a week, and are totally freaked out about how much they weigh, I've got lists. And so first off, Julia, such a freaking good question. Now if you're smart, you won't tweet this information out tonight. I don't know why that would be smart. It will build mystique and people will want to know more from you. But you know, I would get off this call and I'd be like, I just learned the most amazing social media trick. People will think you're really cool. So here we go. Number 1, in Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, you can run your email addresses through your account. So first off, on Facebook, if you click Find Friends, there gives you an option there if you've got Gmail, Yahoo, blah, 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 other accounts, to run your email list through there. So the first thing you always want to do is take your mailing list, your personal list for your company, and run it through there. You are, this is just my general sense, and I could be, sometimes people get really squeamish about this, but if I'm asking my customers if they want to be my friend, I don't feel like I have violated any code of anything that I promised them. They can certainly say no. So I don't get the sense that, you know, I'm spamming them or anything like that. So first of all, you want to do that. Then in terms of building friends, beyond the lists, one thing will start to happen. Once you start to get a certain quantity of people, more people will start to want to friend you as well. So you consistently want to be accepting a lot of those friends. Some of those friends you'll see are definitively not your target market. You don't have to accept them. You could always send them a note and ask them to join your like page. But then the other thing, I think what's really interesting, Julia, is when I did the work on your stuff, I know just because my day in, day out, I've got hundreds of thousands of people that I quite intimately know via social media because it's what I'm doing every day, all day. And so I knew the people, that would be interested in your product. Here's another thing that I do when I build the base of things. I find raving fans. So I know the people who love to be on Facebook all day, and I know the people with that would love your product. And so I always look for a group of 5 to 10 of those people so that they will be constantly on your page talking about how great everything is, because then what that creates is that it goes to the top news. When you click on Facebook and look at updates, a few months ago it changed, so it's not like in linear order anymore. The posts that have the most friends, how do I say this? The posts that are at the top are the ones that your friends have commented on the most. So besides just posting on Facebook, you really want a group of people that are consistently posting, and you want that group of people to be a group of people within your target market. Everyone is not your target market. And so it's like if 10 really influential people that you know are a target market of your product are people who are constantly posting on your page, your other friends are going to see that they are commenting on your posts. They're going to ask to be your friends, and you will build that way. And then the third piece, I would say, is quite frankly, yeah, definitely. If I know that people who, for instance, let me see how I can do this without violating any confidentiality for anyone. So, for instance, your wallets to wear, and throw your link up there. Ladies, you should be throwing your links up left and right. Get each other to like each other. Get each other to know each other's products. How well do you know everybody on this call tonight? Do you know their pages? Are you in touch with them? Do you know that all of you have a very similar target market? So, I know that you loved salsa dancing, and you'll talk about salsa dancing and wear your product there. So then the thing that I could have easily done is find people who are very into salsa dancing. Look up salsa on Facebook. Look up salsa on Twitter. Find those people, friend those people. You're not doing a disservice to them. They have nowhere to put their money and their credit cards and their key while they're salsa dancing. You're showing up with a solution. That's not poaching anyone from anywhere. So that's the other piece that I did. I looked specifically for places where I knew there were people who would love your product. And you better believe I friended them for you. Absolutely, absolutely. So I hope that that clarifies some. Okay, we have 9 minutes left. I can't believe time goes so fast. So here we go. Shauna. Is there an easier way to expedite running your email through these, through social media? No, but it is freaking priceless. Because Shauna, the deal is if you've coached someone who all of a sudden is on your page tomorrow and they love you and they're like, Shauna, you changed my life. I'm so glad you found me on Facebook. Do you have anything else going on now that I could buy? They wouldn't see the end of it. But do you know how much social proof that is for everyone else who's on your page? Looking at that, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I was contemplating showing up for Shauna's coaching, but now I'm totally going to do it. Look at this person that is totally being authentic and thrilled to find her. So no, there's not a faster way to get it done, but it can be done. Okay, the one thing I want to make clear, and perhaps I haven't made this clear, do not enter them email address by email address. Download all of your contacts into a Yahoo account or a Gmail account or one of the accounts that is supported on Twitter and Facebook. When you go into the like find friends function, it will tell you right there how to do it. So if you need to download from whoever you're using, like Constant Contact, you just export everything into a CSV, import it into a Gmail account that you make just for this function, enter the Gmail account information there, click Start, and Facebook will go and find every Facebook account for anyone that's on that email list, and you just click Yes at the bottom, and then you've asked, you know, you can ask 5,000 people to be your friend at one time if you've got that many people that are on Facebook that are in your email list. So there's the answer for that one. Yay! We have 7 minutes left. Who has questions? Okay, I'm going to tell you my think up example while you are figuring out questions, and then I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to make people start talking about why they're not doing stuff if you all don't come up with questions. So here's my think up thing. I'm so excited about this. I was really, more than anything, wanting Michael Beckwith, who's the Reverend at Agape International Spiritual Center, to do a wedding blessing for me. Getting married in Missouri near my grandmother. Michael Beckwith is booked for weddings for the next year, and he does this beautiful thing where he pulls people up on stage, which is really Paul's vision of how a wedding should be, that everyone is invited, everyone can witness it. And so I know enough about Michael Beckwith's social media that I knew I couldn't get in touch with him that way. But I just kept, you know, I can't even tell you the things that I've done. I volunteered to do social media for an organization that's connected with him, and I just volunteered out of the goodness of my heart. But I was like, they were like, we don't have much money, and I was like, if you can get a wedding blessing from Michael Beckwith, I don't care. I haven't heard back from them for a while. I was getting nervous. I tried to sneak out after church behind him, and the security stopped me this Sunday, and then I just thought, okay, whatever is meant to happen is meant to happen. And then I was walking to the ladies' room, and here comes Michael Beckwith in my face, and I said, will you please do a wedding blessing for me? And he was like, are you married? I was like, I will be. And he was like, yeah. And then this is I just think this is an important thing to mention, and I'll go right back to your questions, is I was ready to offer all my social media services for free to him, which I tried to do. And he didn't even like register with him. He wanted nothing from me in return. So, and, okay, now here's a crazy kind of thing, but I'll mention this also. They stream live. So in terms of me and my business, I mean, I can't get them not to stream live. It wasn't anything I thought about. But do you know the amount of people that are going to be watching my wedding blessing? And do you know how much I can talk about that on Facebook if I choose to? Like, it's an opportunity that could even help my company. It's so not why I'm doing it. Please don't misunderstand me. But I just think that that was a really important thing to mention. He was the person that, and I'll tell you, my childhood minister is not coming to my wedding. He can't do it. That was one of my Think Up people. But I got Michael Beckwith, which I want more than anything. So there we go. There's my Think Up example for inspiration. And back to your questions. Julia says, my tip on salsa dancers, just ask to be friends individually. Absolutely ask to be friends individually with people. The active people, the people who look like they would buy your product, absolutely you want to be their friends. And how can you send emails to people that signed up for your event? Great question, Shauna, on Facebook. you can't, because of the spam thing, send them emails directly. However, and I will put this up next because I had said that I would last week, you can, after people RSVP or don't RSVP or maybe RSVP, go onto your event, go on the right hand side, and there is a little space there that will say, depending upon if it's your fan page, or, which they still say, they call it fans on that, interestingly, or if it's your personal page, it allows you to send a message to the people that are there within a group. So I think that that's the answer to your question. If it wasn't clear enough, let me know. Okay. Anybody on the phone got a question? Just press *6. We have 3 minutes left. I'm going to start asking questions. Does anybody else have a question? Okay, so what's stopping you all from doing these things? That's my question for you. Why do I have no invitations to a Ustream show? Shauna, I will post it in the forum exactly how to send updates to the people for your event. They just recently changed that, so it's a little bit confusing, but I'll put really specific instructions. Okay, we have 2 minutes left. So Tara, talk to me about, oh good, Julia's nothing stopping her. Tara, talk to me about your fear of doing Ustream. You were posting about it this week in the forum. Nobody, it's like crickets. Oh good! Shauna's doing Ustream on the 15th. I love that, Shauna, because the 8th, next week, same time, same place, we're going to do another Q&A. No one's going to answer my question about why they're blocked. Here's the deal. I am committed to you all succeeding, and if you all aren't succeeding, I need to know why in order to help you. So I actually genuinely care and am curious. Oh, on the 8th. Okay, well, Shauna, as long as it's not at the time of our class, I can make it, but otherwise I'll watch the replay. No one is going to talk about... Oh, great. Shauna will make the call. Why don't I do some of the assignments in the class? Laziness. That's my answer. Laziness. Is that true? I don't think I'm actually lazy. Because I don't prioritize. Yeah. Julia says not doing the homework. Biggest hurdle is... Ah. Tara says that she thinks there's a challenge technically. What do you think that challenge is? Is it that just thinking that technology is challenging? Julia promises to do her 90-day goals as soon as... Oh, you don't have a Facebook page. You're not sure how to invite, etc. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. We were talking about imperfect action. Just set up a Facebook page. Google how to set up a fan page, because you'll find it still there. It gives you the link exactly how to do it. And then it's exactly what I talked about before, and I realize you all may have to listen to parts of this call again, but all you have to do is once you set up your page, go to the left hand side of the page. It says suggest to friends. Click it. All your friends will appear. Use the code that's on the forum. Click enter. It will invite all of your friends. And then here we go. And this is what I think is important. So then Tara says it goes back to the whole perfection thing. You want to be ready, have things in place. Here's the deal. And this, I think that this is really key, and I think that this is really important, and I'm finding it's even more important than before. I think that the way that we get stuck is we have 5 million reasons about why it's not time yet, but the deal is this: is it time for you to be successful? If so, just use the tools. You know, if you were building, I love it, people are saying things. If you were building a house and the goal were to build a house, would you be like, I don't know how to use a hammer. I'm really caught up in this hammer thing. I'm going to not learn how to use a hammer and be stuck about a hammer for a long time. No, you've got a house to build. You've got a business to build. You've got people that need you. Tara says she has to get used to the idea that maybe no one will come. And this is I'm gonna give you tough love for a minute, and you can think about whether you want to take it or not, and you can tell me it wasn't cool, and I will apologize, and I won't do it again. But here's a thought. Your product saves babies' lives. First of all, people are going to come. I'll tell you that much. And the second piece is, like, what if having a fan page up there and someone being able to use your iPhone app were to save a baby's life tonight? Like, there's no time to waste. Okay, so feel free to let me know if that was too harsh, but it's just the truth. And I'm not delivering life-saving material here, so please don't be confused. It doesn't just have to be if it's about saving a child's life. Your target market needs you, and you are exactly meant to be here giving exactly what you're giving. So for all of us, the time is now. Anne thinks she's not savvy enough in the mechanics of Twitter and Facebook. I understand that, but what's interesting is this. I think that that's a thought to have, but if you go out there and if you start finding people that really could buy 5 gazillion of your products and stuff, the point is not to be savvy in the mechanics of Twitter and Facebook. And I know that I'm sort of splitting hairs, but like if you're building that house, you don't need to like really know how to use that hammer. You just need to use the hammer enough to get the house built. Or, as I suggested in the first class, hire someone on Odesk. And they're very savvy in the mechanics, and for $3 or $4 an hour, they can do some of these pieces when you give them the strategy and the thought process to do it. Like if it's too hard for me to use a hammer to build a house, I'm not going to stay without a house if I need a house. I'm going to go find somebody else who can use the hammer and pay them to do it. So, okay. Tara says I wasn't too harsh, and that's good. I didn't mean to be harsh, but I think that it's you know, I consistently find that with people I work with, there's honestly, the fear stops us, and that's a much bigger problem than the social media part. So I would just encourage you all, jump in. I don't care if you schedule a Ustream event and then you cancel it. That's fine. I don't care if you schedule a Ustream event and no one sign. I'm going to sign up for it if you send it to me. Like, I am such a cheerleader for all of you. I can't wait to get these invitations. I said, this is the last thing I'm saying at 4 minutes after the hour. I was sitting in Missouri looking on my computer and I'm like, where are they? Why aren't they doing their homework? Why am I not getting invited to Ustream events? I need them. It's like way too transparent. I'll be there and I'm cool and I have a lot of friends that'll come. So I hear your fears and I raise you. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And you know, I've needed people to say that to me about my own fears. So I'm really lucky that I get to be here with you all and say that about yours. So that's it for our Q&A for tonight. It has been a pleasure. And we will have class again tomorrow night, same time, same place. And then I will see you for your other bonus call next Tuesday. And great, Julia says it was invaluable. I'm glad, Julia. And I would suggest, because I understand that you all need this interaction, even if you can't make it next Tuesday night, send me questions at, and I'll type it in here, it's support@Coach Lindsay, and I will make sure that they get answered during the call, because I certainly don't want you to fail just because you did not have answer to specific questions. So, okay, great job you all tonight. Big hug, and I will see you tomorrow night. Okay, thanks, bye.